This is Curtis Crowe of Crowe.Studios. Today we're going to talk about a wedding I recently went to. Now, as a photographer myself, I stood up in the wedding and I knew that I'm going to have to watch somebody else shoot the wedding. And that can sometimes be hard, very hard, especially when you're in your zone of what's good gear, what's good methods, and you see them work, and it can be hard sometimes. And that was very much the case with this wedding. It was my buddy's wedding. I was the best man, and they came up to me and said, "Listen, we want you to be in our wedding, but we don't want you to shoot it." And I was very honored by it, because most people that want me to go to a wedding, they want me to bring my DSLR, and I don't want to do that. I want to be there to have fun like everybody else. Now, the shooter that they did pick, I did reach out to, because at first I was like, you know what, I'm going to be open-minded, not going to say anything to them, and I needed a second shooter for an upcoming wedding, so I was like, hey, this might be my opportunity to get a new second shooter. So, I'm going throughout the wedding. She's not using very good gear, which, whatever, some photographers are just starting out, and I know they didn't spend that much. They spent over $500, which is pretty means they were pretty much on a budget. And there was two shooters there, which is recommended in my opinion for any wedding photographer. You should always have two people. There's a lot of ground to cover, and it really helps you if you have a second shooter. And they weren't really changing up angles. Both shooters were always right next to each other. And honestly, if you have two cameras, and they both had very entry-level cameras. One was a Rebel T3, not the T3i, and the other one was a Nikon 3200, I want to say. Anyway, both with kit lenses, and they were always standing right next to each other, shooting the same thing. So you're just going to get a bunch of pictures that are exactly the same. Sure, you might get one photo where, oh, the eyes aren't open or the eyes aren't closed or whatever. That might be beneficial. But it doesn't help you. It's not going to get you good photos. It's going to get you a bunch of exactly the same images, and that's not good. You want to be able to show a variety. You want to be able to show dynamic angles. You want to be able to show, different interests. There's so much happening at a wedding. There's no reason for two people to be shooting the same exact thing at the same exact angle with the same exact lens. It almost makes sense for very specific parts of the wedding. If one person was on a telephoto, the other person was on a wide angle. Something like that makes sense. But if they're both running 18 to 55s on entry-level cameras, there's going to be no difference. There's no difference between full framer or cropped. I mean, they're both running basically the same camera. Now, that bothered me a lot. If you're not looking for the shot, then what are you doing? So I talked to the second shooter, who was the guy, and he's like, a lot of people think I'm the primary shooter because I'm a guy, which I thought was a little sexist. But you want to talk to my fiance, which is right over there. So I'm like, oh, okay, so they're an item. Not too big of a deal. I mean, sometimes it's nice to have support from, friends, family, loved ones. So I go up to her, give her my card, let her know, listen, I'm also a photographer, and I'd like an opportunity to talk to you and see if you'd be a good fit for my wedding that I have to shoot. And she's like, yeah, that sounds great, all this other stuff. Now, the wedding goes on, and this is where she lost basically her chance to shoot with me. On the last song, they are in the same spot like they have been throughout the entire wedding, taking the same shots basically, but it was the very last song of the night, and they weren't shooting. They weren't shooting at all, and that's not what bothered me. Because honestly, people get drunk. The reception photos are usually not the prime photos for a wedding shoot. Instead, they were making out. Even if it is they are engaged. There's no reason when they're on a job for them to be displaying that level of affection on the job. I mean, in my opinion, that is just as bad, if not worse, than drinking on the job as a photographer. I never take an ounce from the bar, not even water from the bar. I always bring my own bottle of water, so that way no one sees me going up to the bar. There's a level of professionalism you have to have in this industry. So many people think, oh, you're a photographer, you're laid back, you're all this other stuff. No, you're still a businessman or lady, and you still have a standard to uphold. And that was not being upheld. And there was a level of unprofessionalism that was just unacceptable for what I want to have for my brand. Granted, I know she would have never made out with me because, well, look at me. And secondly, she has a fiance. But the fact that someone would even consider that as an okay action was not someone I wanted representing my company. So that's definitely something that you need to think about when you go to do weddings is, what are the people that are watching you? Because there are people watching you. How are they going to perceive your actions? For example, what I do at a wedding is, again, you already know I don't go to the bar. I'm always covering the entire floor. I go from table to table after everyone eats and the plates are gone. I go up to table to table. I say, hi, my name's Curtis Crowe. I'm from Crowe.Studios. I'm the hired photographer for the night. Would anybody like a group photo? And people say, oh yeah, I love group photo, da 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 da. And B and I have the 70D, or you can do this also with the 60. I usually take the shot, ask them for their phone number, and then I will text them the image. So that will get that person your number. They will get your number. Or you each get a number. And so now there's communication. Wow, that photo looks great. You start texting. Oh wow, I'm definitely going to use you for any kind of shoots I do in the future because that image came out so crispy clear, so clean, so good. And it builds a relationship with potential clients. You are making a name for yourself for people that might not have normally considered your services. So I go from table to table. I'm never around my second shooter unless I'm letting them know, hey, we have the cutting of the cake coming up. I'd like you here. I want to be here so we can get crossed angles and get some really good shots. It's the only time I'm really close to the second shooter is when those things are happening. Also when we're eating, because honestly no one wants pictures of them eating. So I will eat with the guests. And then other than that, I shoot till the end of the night, to the very last song. I don't stop shooting. Granted, you're not going to get a lot of great photos from there, but you will get some good photos that will be good for social media. And social media is a great way to market yourself. So, and it shows the people, not just the guests, not just the people that hired you, but even the people that you're working with, the DJ and the wedding planner and all that other stuff. They see that you are a hard worker, that you're not stopping, because there's so many also photographers that only stay around for 4 hours, for 6 hours. That they're only there for a set amount of time. When they buy me out for the whole day. I don't care how long I'm there. I could be there from dawn to dusk. Don't care. I'm going to be there for the entire shoot because that shows my work ethic, and that's what I want representing my company. So, like I said, there's a level of professionalism, and that's how you brand yourself, and that's how you market yourself, is through that professionalism. Because I hear horror stories every wedding. You're so much better than what I had for when I got married. That photographer got drunk and was flirting with the bridesmaids. I heard that one at my last wedding. There was other ones where they just leave real quick, or they're frustrated because their gear wasn't working. There's so many things that you have to do to keep yourself in check, to keep your perception of your clients and potential clients, to keep your perspective and your perception, I should say, pristine in the client's eyes. That's very, very, very important. Just something to think about. Appreciate your time. My camera's blinking now, so it means I'm about to run out of video content. So I hope you like this. I really hope this helps you brand and represent yourself for your company, because that's how you're going to stand out from your competition, is that you are going to be the very, very best, and you have to show them that, and you have to work hard for that. Anyway, this is Curtis Crowe, Crowe Studios. I hope you liked the video. Like and favorite, share, all that other stuff.